What is up, humans? Welcome to Scarlett Letter Show Season 4. Oh no, it's Season 5. It's Episode 4, okay? My bad, y'all. You know, sometimes the days just go by and you're so busy and you're doing all these things. But I'd rather be busy than just be home. But I also like to be home with my cats, so you know what? It's a nice balance. Sometimes you do a lot of things, but then other times you just want to hang out at home with your cats, like drink some hot cocoa and watch Netflix. So you gotta balance it out. How's everyone doing? I had a really productive week, been learning a lot about my craft, and I also released a new event coverage on my YouTube channel. So check it out. It's the 3-year anniversary of House to Ourselves. That was a lot of fun. I had actually a lot of fun editing that one because I was able to capture some behind the scenes footage okay, sorry. I was just telling my guests, giving him directions. And yeah, so it was really cool because I was able to experience it in a different way, just kind of see what the guys were up to before the event happened. And yeah, you guys should check it out. And I'm getting near the 100 subscribers, so thanks for the love. Let's make it to 1,000 so we can make it official, all right? And now it's time to introduce my guest, Mr. Andrew Wilkinson. Welcome to the show.
Hello, hello. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you here. You were nominated to be here because a lot of people say really good things about you.
Well, that's great to hear.
Yeah, just get a little closer to the mic. So yeah, you got a really good rep, and honestly, every time I see you out, you always have such a chill vibe. You're like never involved in drama, and you're just like a really cool guy. So
definitely try to avoid the drama at all costs.
At all costs, yeah, and I can tell, like, I notice it. So it's like I look for qualities in my guests that resonate with my values or what I like to be and represent. So you represent the community in a good way. So I want to get to know you and ask you all these questions. So for now, what did you do last weekend?
What did I do last weekend?
What did you get into? What
Let's
trouble?
see. Well, I went to the Bump party last weekend, and that was a lot of fun, actually. Bump is one of my favorite parties in San Diego, and it's been going on for like 10 or 15 years at Blonde Bar, which is one of the longest running parties I know of here.
Wow, I didn't know it was going on for that long. Bump?
I think so. I may be wrong, but
I thought it was a new party. I know the one party that's been going on for a while is the Dance Classique, right? That one's been going on for a long time.
yes.
Okay.
That's their 20-year anniversary was yesterday. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I know. I can never go because I'm working, but you know they look like a lot of fun. So tell me, you currently work as a product. Oh no, wait. Actually, I want to first ask you. You're from Guam, right?
Yes, originally from Guam.
That's really cool. So when did you move to San Diego, and what was the reason that you moved?
I moved here about 8 years ago. I got into UCSD, and I figured San Diego is a very nice place to live, you know, and it's not cold. Guam is a tropical island, so I've never really lived in a cold place before, and I can't really imagine doing so.
Yeah.
So it was a natural choice just coming here. And
That's really cool. Do you still go visit sometimes?
I haven't been there in a long time, actually, because it's so far away. But
Yeah.
my family comes and visits here quite often.
Is your family here still?
No, they still live on Guam, but they come here like maybe like 3 or 4 times a year. So I get to see them a good amount.
How is the process of adapting to the culture? And because I'm also an immigrant. I moved here when I was 12, and I was young, so I was able to adapt easily, but it was still challenging, you know. But for you, it's only been 8 years ago.
Yeah, I feel like I outgrew Guam very quickly. It's such a small island. It's like 30 miles by 15 miles, and there's like only so much you can do, only so much trouble you can get into, you know.
There's not a scene over there.
Actually, now there's like kind of a growing scene. One of these guys I know, Gia, he does the 6 a.m. group up in LA, and he's from Guam originally, and he's been doing these Electric Island festivals over there.
Ooh, Electric Island.
Yeah, I've never been actually because they started actually the year after I left.
Of course, after you leave.
Of course. But if I ever go back, I have an in over there, like with
Yeah,
the
guest
with the stage.
DJ, like originally from Guam. That'd be super cool, right? To have you there, like playing that event.
Exactly. That would be a lot of fun. Like San Diego DJ coming back to Guam,
I
you
know.
know, like
Making a comeback.
yeah.
Nice.
It would be cool to go back and like play out there and just kind of see what the scene is over there. Because before, I mean, on Guam they just play a lot of reggae and like pretty much just chill on the beach a lot. Like on Sundays,
That's
all
the vibe.
yeah, on Sundays all the radio stations play reggae and people just drive their trucks right onto the beach and they like barbecue and just listen to reggae and
That's
drink beer.
That's what you grew up listening to mostly.
Actually, no. I was really into indie music and like classic rock in high school, and I kind of discovered electronic music when I was 17. I went to LA, and I went to some warehouse parties over there because those were the only places that would let me in.
Yeah, of course.
And I was like taking summer classes at UCLA because I found out you could do that as a 17-year-old. So it was like total freedom as a 17-year-old,
Woo!
which was pretty awesome. And then I would bring like the people that lived on my floor were all under 18, and I would bring like 30 people to these parties, and then the promoters loved me over there. And that's kind of like how I like got into like electronic music in the beginning.
That's yeah. You kind of start early and then you never look back. Pretty
Yeah.
much. I started going to events when I was 16, and I also started DJing when I was 16, and it was kind of like a life changer. Even just like those little. My first rave was Scream at the World Beat Center. It was this like little underage.
I've been to those actually when I was in college.
Yeah, so you already know how they are.
Yeah.
So it's an experience, but then like you get to experience other type of bigger events, and it's just life changing.
Definitely. And for me, those were like pretty cool because I've never really like seen things like that before, especially like as like an 18-year-old that just moved here, you know, and I'd be an excuse to, like invite all my friends out and just to go party for a night.
That's so cool. So you currently work as a product design engineer. What got you into that field?
I've always had a knack for like design. I like building things and designing things. So
I usually get a lot of engineers here, so I'm pretty excited.
yeah, so I went to school for mechanical engineering at UCSD, and I've always been like whenever we did projects, I always did the designing aspect of it and like the building aspect of it too. So just like right after school, I got a job here as an engineer and just started building stuff, you know.
Just building. What do you build right now?
Right now, I work at Kyocera. We build like semiconductors, like do like if you imagine like the PCB board, like the green boards inside your computer, and we put like all the components on it right now.
That's really cool. I mean,
it's all right.
Yeah, like it's okay, but you enjoy it, right?
Yeah. I like doing the design part of it. I don't know about the job itself, but
yeah. Sometimes I mean, no job is perfect, right? There's always gonna be something.
It's definitely a stepping stone and a growing experience.
Yeah. So, do you ever implement anything that you learn into DJing, or like learning how to use machines or softwares? Is it any correlation with the engineering?
I would say like a little bit, you know, kind of just thinking about like the structure of things and like like a math background as well too, and of course with electronic music, like the 4 on the floor beats. A lot of the time, like a lot of the like the DJing, like phrasing and like beat matching and stuff like that, like all really made sense to me in the beginning, and then like kind of taking it a step further is like using my creativity to kind of like go in like weird directions and kind of making it different, really.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it, right? That you can just pretty much do anything. That's what I'm kind of discovering now, like rediscovering as coming back as a DJ, but learning about technique. Because before I didn't really need to think about it so much. I would just play like whatever, cha-cha slide, or I didn't really care about mixing. But now it's like it's actually like an art form.
Yeah.
DJing.
There are rules, but rules are also meant to be broken as well too. So it's kind of figuring out how to break those rules without like breaking the dance floor, I guess.
Break the rules without breaking the dance floor. You heard it here.
You can quote me on that.
Okay. So what can we expect in the first half of the mix?
So the mix that I made today was I picked up a bunch of records the past few weeks, and a lot of them are kind of like a Detroit electro, like Drexian influence.
Oh.
I would say mainly like in the beginning it's like really chill electro, kind of like fun like break beats, but kind of like mellow at the same time.
Okay. All right. So I am excited to hear this mix. And we'll be back in 10 minutes to continue the interview. You're listening to KCR College Radio, the award winning sound of state. Hey, what's up? Welcome back. I like the little weird sounds in the back. I'm like,
Little acidy sounds.
yeah, yeah. Oh my God. I just realized that I like some acid, like the acid sounds, because a lot of the songs that I've been downloading have, like in the techno genre, have some acid elements. I'm like, I do like the little weird sounds, you know?
Definitely. Acid techno is like one of my favorite genres out there.
Yeah,
For
'cause
sure.
it's like, it just keeps going.
Yeah, especially if you're trying to bang out too. Like, kind of fucks with people on the dance floor a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's okay. So, I gotta make some cute announcements for KCR. Northwest Observatory is an amazing venue that you can win tickets to. Make sure to check out all our giveaways on kcrlive.com for a chance to win tickets to concerts throughout the semester, and follow us on KCR College Radio for more opportunities to win. Also, are you a fan of podcasts? Make sure to check out KCR On Demand, the newest platform of entertainment from your radio hosts here at SCSU. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and SoundCloud at KCR College Radio. And lastly, make sure to check out Transcend this Sunday, March 1st. Yes, the newest house and techno night that gives the spotlight to female talent. And you're in for a treat because it'll be Residence Night featuring Melanie, Laura Peck, CRB, and guess who else? Scar. Yes, it's me. Get ready to hear me play some dark techno. This event is held at Blonde Bar from 9 to 2 a.m. and tickets are only $5. Okay, you can afford us. Okay, hope to see you all there. Yes. All right, and now we're back with Andrew.
Hello.
Yeah, we were just talking about our European experience.
Yes.
You also went to Europe last summer, huh?
Yeah, Europe is, I mean, obviously a favorite of mine. My favorite cities are
Amsterdam.
Berlin for sure.
I've never been to Berlin. Did you get in Berghain?
I did.
Oh my God! I just had Matt Egbert from Frontlet Productions,
Mhm.
and he didn't get in Berghain. We were just talking about it. So, like, how did you get in? Like, what was it? Like, what was the experience?
I mean, I stood in line for like 2 hours, and I mean, you just have to like try as many times as you can. Like actually, I went there twice in one weekend, and on Friday, me and my buddy Carlo got rejected, and he was very sad about it actually. But I mean, the thing about Berlin is like, there's so much stuff going on over there that if that's not where your night's gonna take you, then there's like so many other clubs you can go to that will have music till like God knows when, you know?
Yeah. So how was it, like, being inside?
It's awesome. I was in there for like 26 hours straight, which is like definitely the longest I've ever partied before. But yeah, it's I feel like it's like type of place where you have to like lose your mind at least like 2 or 3 times to get the full experience.
Awesome. Oh my God. Yeah, that's definitely one of my things in my bucket list. People always tell me, "Oh, you'll totally get in." I'm like, "Yeah, probably. We'll see." I'm gonna write a blog about it.
Yeah. I mean, you never know until you try. You know,
Yeah.
It's like completely random, and a lot of people take it personally. But it's like, if honestly, they can't let everybody in because if they
Yeah.
let everyone in, like I know a lot of people can't handle it because it's like there's a lot of crazy stuff going on around you, and like
Ooh.
a lot of people may be like weirded out or whatever, and they
Yeah.
only want the people that are like.
They're gonna survive.
Yeah, that are like, oh, you know, that's going on right next to me. Like, okay,
Yeah.
like not get freaked out by it
Oh
or
man,
whatever.
you
like,
know, I've seen a little bit of everything. I think at this point,
Yeah.
I'm not really like scared of anything.
yeah. Well, yeah.
Like when you're in the industry for a while, you kind of like just experience a lot of different things, and you know, like
Definitely, and our community too, I think, should be more accepting of like, just like whatever's going on, I guess, because it's like it's a place to express yourself and to be free, and that's kind of what like house and techno was like built on originally. Like back in Detroit, a lot of like blacks and gays were like marginalized for
Yeah,
like
exactly.
just being them, and this is how this was their release.
Yeah, do you think we kind of lost that essence?
I think the essence is still there in certain places, but there's a lot of places where it has lost its essence, which is like really sad. Which is, I mean, you have to be really picky about where you go to, and like, or at least I'm really picky about like which music events I go to, and like which artists I go see, and like who I support for that reason as well. And you can really tell when you get to the event too, like if like what type of people
The
are there.
vibe.
Yeah,
Yeah, because if you go to a Diplo show, you know you're gonna be with a bunch of ratchets.
yeah. You'll definitely see a lot of twerking, but I don't know if that's what you go for.
Yeah, I feel like I could only twerk for like 30 seconds, and I'm like, okay, that's it. I need some house and techno or something. All right, so I want to know, how do you balance your professional life, like your day job stuff, and then your DJ life?
Yeah, so I mean, having a Monday to Friday job, like just keeping that separation, like I don't really go party during the weekdays
Yeah,
that much if I can help it.
that much.
I don't drink at all like during the week,
Yeah,
and yeah, just save that for the weekends. I mean, weekend like I think I do enough drinking during the weekend to like
it's fair
cover
game.
the week,
You like we were talking right now. You lose your mind, but then you lose it again in a different way.
Yeah, exactly. You lose your mind. You leave work so you can go lose your mind a little bit, and then you go to work and you lose your mind from your coworkers and stuff.
Are your coworkers are into electronic music at all, or are you the only one?
Not really. I try to keep that separated as well
Yeah.
too. I have brought some out, but then
It's just weird because then you see them and then they've seen you like in
yeah,
like a different
especially when in the places that you should be able to be free, they like see you during the week, and you're like, oh, okay, this
like,
is
oh, now I know how you behave in the weekend.
yeah, exactly. Especially if they've like never been out to like those events before. Once in a while, you'll find somebody that really like gets into it and stuff. But
Yeah, when I was working in a restaurant here at SDSU, I tried to take out one of the girls I work with, and it was just weird afterwards because it's like, like we couldn't like really let loose because we knew we were gonna see each other at work again, and it's just like sometimes like with your coworkers you just can't.
yeah,
Depending on the industry that you're in. I mean, now that I work in a club, it's different because we don't even go out because we're working weekends, so we go out to get brunch or lunch or whatever.
yeah.
Okay, so I want to know more about your DJing experience. So, do you practice any ritual before you play?
Before I play, I I'm actually like most of the time when I DJ, I'm like stone cold sober before I DJ because I mean I also think of it as a job too.
Yes, yes.
Somebody pays you for it, you spend a lot of time like preparing for it, and just for you to like be like drunk like in the moment like. And my philosophy is like kind of like either you're really drunk and like having a good time up there, or like everybody else is drunk on the dance floor and they're having a really good time. It's like really difficult to manage both at the same time.
But I actually like that because I mean, me too, working in the industry, like working in a nightclub, people are always so shook that I'm always sober. But it is a job. Like I have like a really strong work ethic, and you're representing yourself everywhere
Exactly.
you go. And if they see you as a drunk DJ, like what's that gonna say about you?
Yeah, exactly. And another thing I like to do before I DJ is kind of just like sit by myself for like the 5 or 10 minutes like before, because I still get nerves and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
And I just like to be like quiet, kind of like meditate a little bit. But a lot of people are like, "Oh my god, like really excited to see you play!" Like keep talking to you and stuff,
Yeah,
and you're like, "I just wanna like chill for a little bit."
I know. I just need to like recollect my thoughts and just be. I completely understand because being in an environment that is just so overstimulating, sometimes you need those moments to just like, okay, like I need to get away from everyone right now and just like prepare myself mentally that I'm gonna step behind the decks.
Yeah, exactly. And usually the first 10 minutes are like kind of like nerve wracking, but then after that you're like, "Oh, I got this. Like I know
Yeah.
what I'm doing."
I know, like it's okay. I got this.
Yeah.
So, what is your perfect time slot to play, and do you prefer day or night parties?
So I think if I were to choose, I would probably choose like play like a warehouse party at like 2 in the morning, like kind of
Okay.
like after hours, because then I can really bang it out. But I like playing kind of all over the place too. Like if I play during the day, I'll play some like nice disco or some like really chill like house music. I mean, it really depends on like the time that I get booked. It like really
Yeah.
determines what
No,
you
but what
play.
is like so but your favorite would be After Hour Warehouse.
Yeah, definitely playing like really fast techno. It's probably way too fast for a lot of people.
Oh,
Only for the people that are
only
up.
for the people that are still there.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. So, what is the best way to find music in your opinion? Like, what's your process of looking for tracks?
Me, I really like using SoundCloud a lot. Just kind of go down like the SoundCloud wormhole. I look at into like record labels a lot. Like I have a few record labels that I follow religiously, and also record shopping. You kind of I have a few favorite record shops that I go to, and I know they have good selections there. So that's kind of half the work already done, and then the other half is like digging through the crates and like kind of just seeing what's out there. And if you don't know what it is, maybe just like listen to it, and
Yeah,
then
you go on Spotify really quick, check it out.
yeah, I mean a lot of the ones I go to have listening stations there too.
Oh,
So
okay. That's
yeah, I try to. My favorite ones at least have like listening stations there, so I can like spend a few hours there and just kind of like diving deep. I'm like, oh, what's this record label, and like what's this artist? I've never heard of him before, and then you kind of discover things that way as well too.
What's your favorite record store here in San Diego?
In San Diego, I usually go to Folk Arts Rare Records. It's like down the street from my house, but they have a pretty interesting selection of things. Not necessarily like they have some house and techno. Not really too much techno actually. You find the rare electro record there sometimes, but they have like a lot of cool like just like weird like listening records or like actually been getting a lot of dark entries recently, which is Josh Gion's record label
All
from Honey
right.
Sound System up in San Francisco. He's been doing a lot of really cool represses and just yeah,
Awesome. I gotta check it out sometime then.
yeah,
We
definitely.
should go. We should set a date and just go have a record date.
Absolutely, it's
With
right down the street from my house, so I could spend hours in there.
That's cool. Awesome. So, what makes you decide what specific song to play during your sets? Do you go by feeling or do you kind of prepare beforehand?
I kind of when I prepare playlists, I usually spend a few hours preparing, like kind of like envisioning like what the party's gonna be like, and like knowing what time slot I'm gonna play, who's playing before me, who's playing after, kind of the vibe you want to facilitate. So based on that, I'll make like a general playlist, which is like kind of more specific, I guess, and then from that playlist, uh, I kind of do it by feeling, like on
Oh,
the
do it by
spot.
feeling?
You kind of put in a track, you see how the dance floor reacts, and then if it doesn't work, then you go in a different direction. And sometimes it takes a while to figure out, which is why I think it's better to play longer sets, because then you can actually like figure out the crowd.
Yeah.
Or as like you play an hour, you feel like you figured it out like 30 minutes in, and then you get like 30 minutes of like what you feel like is you're properly DJing.
Yeah, you only get to share like a short story, right? Like
Yeah.
with a short set. But I feel like majority of events are kind of like that. They just only get like 1 or 2 hours.
Yeah,
One
which is
hour
like
event.
kind of unfortunate, I think, but I think events should definitely be booking DJs for longer periods of times, because I understand the promotional aspect of it, like try to fit as many DJs to get as many people out there as possible, but also having just like a few people play like extended sets, like was it a few months ago? I had my own night at a Blonde Bar through the Afternoon Umbrella Friends, and I invited my friend Bailey Rogers from Bouquet and Andres Escobar.
Nice.
And the party was called Wilkinson's Revenge, because people keep spelling my name wrong as Wilkinson, and it's kind of my revenge upon them.
Oh yeah.
But
So you had an extended set there?
yeah, we played like B3B all night. So
Oh,
yeah.
B3B.
Yeah, B3B. It was a lot of fun, and Actually, we're definitely gonna be doing it again, like maybe like 3 or 4 times a year.
Nice.
Over there, just the three of us, just like taking over like the entire night.
Taking over. That's super cool.
Yeah.
I gotta check it out.
Definitely.
So with the technological advances with DJing softwares, you can transform a song easier than ever before,
Yeah.
right? With like the effects and filters and whatnot. How do you incorporate these alterations in your sets? And do you think it's necessary or it's beneficial?
Yeah. I think some people definitely do it very well. I like the song speaking for itself. I mean, somebody spent all this time like producing the
Right.
track, and they made it how they wanted it to be made. And if you picked out that track, you probably like it for the way it sounds.
originally.
So I usually do it very minimally, to be honest. And, some transitions here and there you can incorporate like minor effects, but I definitely keep it on like the lower percentage side
Yeah.
of that and just try to like kind of just use your mixing to like tell the story more than anything.
What do you think makes a solid transition?
What makes a solid transition? That can go in many different directions. There's like the transition where it's like seamless, where nobody realizes like the track is even changing, which is definitely really cool. I feel like it also depends on the type of music you're playing too. And there's also like the quick transitions, but also like having it like make sense as well too, which I think is definitely challenging at the same time because you're kind of like you're trying to keep a vibe going, but you have like hard transitions sometimes. So
Yeah.
a lot of the times when you're playing like disco or like break beats, which both of them are two of my favorite genres, like you do a lot of quick transitions because that's kind of like how the tracks work with each
So
other.
you don't blend the songs that much. You kind of just go.
Yeah,
Really?
I mean sometimes it really
It really
depends on the
depends,
track.
right?
You
Yeah.
know, it's really hard to pinpoint a specific
Yeah.
type of
Yeah, I think
transition
it's just
that
so
I like.
interesting because everyone has their own style.
Yeah,
Like the more I've been learning about technique, everyone has very different ways of doing it. So you
Yeah.
kind of have to find your own way.
yeah. What I do is I obviously listen to the track that's playing, and then I queue up a track, and then like scan through it a little bit, and then kind of like see what makes sense the most, and then just do it based on my gut feeling. Like,
Trust your guts, people. So, do you think the crowd actually appreciates the complexity of DJing techniques when they don't know what's going on?
I think there's definitely some people in the crowd that appreciate it, but I feel like a lot of people don't at the same time. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Whereas, like, I think when people, I don't really like it when people face the DJ. To be honest, like when I'm on the dance floor, I'm usually facing my friends because I'm there to like dance with my friends and like have a good time. Also see the DJ as well too. But I feel like if you're just having a good time on the dance floor and like you don't notice anything that's like really weird
Yeah.
going on with the music that's like not intentional, like then I feel like the DJ is doing a good job, and a friend of mine told me that like a good DJ will like, there'll be lulls, it can't just be bangers like all the time. So you kind of like build up and then you have some lulls,
Yeah,
like people
kinda
go
let
get
go.
drinks and like come back, as long as people come back,
Yeah.
like,
You don't want an empty dance floor for sure.
yeah.
So I think for me, I think some of the top elements for that makes a good DJ set would be like music selection. I think number one, and then number two, the stage presence, and number three will be technique. What are your top three?
I would say music selection definitely number one, and then kind of like how they choose to transition would be two.
Technique. Okay.
Yeah, and then third is just like kind of just the DJ's having a good time, because
Yeah.
if the DJ's not having a good time, there's most likely like other people are not having a good time too.
Yeah, I think that's important because you project what you're feeling, and sometimes when the transitions maybe aren't that great, but the DJ has like the energy and good music, it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter. Even though it's like, like you notice it, but at the same time, like I think music selection is definitely number one.
Yeah, it's absolutely number one. Like if you don't have music selection, then what are you really doing?
I know, right? Why are you even here, messing up our lives with your crappy music?
Exactly.
Okay, so do you think it's good or bad for the industry that there's so many DJs right now?
That's an interesting question because I think I think because there's more DJs, there's a lot of noise going on. So kind of like picking out like who is like your favorites and like what you like is like important, but that's like becoming harder and harder to do. And then there's also the aspect of it where it's becoming like really easily accessible. So like anybody can come DJ, and a lot of people are not like spending the time and effort to like prepare their sets. They're just like, oh, I want to go DJ because I want to be a DJ
Yeah,
or
because it's
whatever.
cool.
But like I spent hours like preparing for a set. Like even if it's like an hour set, I'll probably spend like 3 or 4 hours just like like downloading music and like preparing like the playlist and everything like that. And you can really tell when people don't do that as well. Or I mean, I can at least.
Yeah. No, it's true, and it ties back to like the work ethic aspect of it, because like you take it seriously and you're also passionate about it.
Yeah. And when other people are just kind of like joking around doing it, you're just like, oh, like that kind of sucks because I'm
Yeah,
like
that could have been
trying
someone
hard.
else. Someone that could have been someone else's spot that wanted to really DJ and like take it seriously,
Yeah.
right? Instead of some fool that is just like doing it for
For,
just to be cool.
I don't know, get
Uh,
girls or whatever.
the
Like,
girls and the drugs. Let's do it. Okay, so what are your thoughts on San Diego's electronic music community? Like maybe some positives and maybe something that needs improvement.
I think it's like a really young community right now. There's a lot of like new parties popping up, like left and right. It seems like almost every week there's like a new party popping up.
Pretty much.
But it's cool because there's like the fan base is definitely growing too, and I think because it's such a young scene, people are trying to figure out what they like and like what kind of music taste that they're like really into, and if because there's so many parties, you don't really know, and there's a lot of noise going on, so it's like it's harder for people to like kind of pinpoint like what exactly they like in the music scene, whether it's like community or whether it's like the music itself. Like for me, it's definitely the music itself, and then
Yeah.
the community is also great too. I think there's a lot of like beautiful souls like in the scene, that you just see them everywhere.
fam.
It's just like everyone's so friendly, and I think it's a really good thing. But I guess the negatives would be just like all the noise going on and kind of yeah.
Yeah, there's just kind of a lot going on, and maybe also I think another thing that people say a lot is like the lack of venues.
Yes, lack of venues is a huge problem in San Diego, and it's I mean, you can only go to like Blonde, Spin, and like Kava Lounge like so many times before you're like tired of it. I mean, I love all those venues, but like there's only like go to like Spin like
Yeah.
3 weekends in a row or whatever.
Yeah,
You're like,
oh my god. I
okay.
think me and everyone that's been here agrees on the same thing,
Yes.
because it's definitely a struggle.
Yeah, and it is just really hard to find music venues,
Yeah.
like people that want to like accommodate our crowd, and maybe like sometimes like the nights don't do as well, and they don't want to like have that loss of
Yeah.
revenue because of that.
I like that place, the Dragonfly place.
Oh yeah,
That was so random with all the
That place.
cars. I'm like, what? It's funny because I went there to get an oil change. And I didn't realize that it was. I didn't realize it was that spot until like I looked in. I'm like, wait, I've partied here before. I told like the old guy that works there. He's like, oh yeah, I'm sure you have. He
yeah,
was just like,
that's one of my favorite venues. I mean, there's a few warehouse venues around San Diego. There's also like a lack of warehouse venues as
Yeah.
well too.
Let's make it happen.
the-
Let's keep searching.
I know,
Yeah.
like whoever's got the warehouses, hit me up, hit
Hit
us
us
up.
up.
Like we'll make something happen.
Yeah. So thanks for your input. It's time to go to the human experience section.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you more stuff about how you see life, and I want to start with what gets you excited about life.
What gets me excited? I mean, honestly, I get really excited about music. Like you'll just like kind of see me like on SoundCloud or like going through like records. You're like, oh my god, dude! Like we have this like I have this record or whatever.
I can see it because you're like your face is just glowing talking about music.
Yeah, I mean that's primarily what I do for fun,
Yeah.
and I do spend a lot of time like just kind of like going through it, just like going down these wormholes or whatever, and
Awesome.
like learning about like other people's music scenes, like what they're doing in other parts of the world, and like how like just kind of seeing like what's going on, how people are doing their parties, what kind of music they're playing over
Getting
there.
some inspiration.
Yeah,
Awesome.
exactly.
So, how do you respond to someone who is different from you or whose ideas or beliefs you don't understand?
So that's definitely something that I'm like working on, but definitely trying to listen to other people and seeing like where they come from, like see what their background is, like why they like what they like. You know, maybe it's different from mine, but I'm definitely becoming more accepting of it. Whereas maybe before I'm like, no,
No,
like,
it's this way.
like that music sucks or like whatever. But actually, no, there's a lot of like different facets of music, and people are just into different things.
Yeah,
So
gotta be open minded.
yeah, exactly.
Are you currently holding on to something that you need to let go of? Could be emotionally or physically.
My job.
My job.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, that's.
Do you think you would want to take music more seriously?
I've considered it a few times, but I also like having like a Monday through Friday thing, just to kind of keep it balanced. Because so I know some DJs that are like touring and stuff, and that life seems like also kind of like
exhausting.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a lot of fun too. At the same time, you're like traveling all over the world and like.
Yeah, but it is exhausting. They barely get any sleep.
Yeah.
They're just like constantly. It is a job. It's like another type of job.
And I feel like I don't have the self control to to like do it like very like healthy way or like
have it be sustainable. Yeah, it is an issue. So okay, what is the most desirable trait another person can have?
I think it's just curiosity, actually, like or wanting to learn new things, like. Whether it's like about music, I would say I'm a very curious person. I like, especially because I'm an engineer. I always like, oh, how does that thing work? You know,
how do I do that? Yeah.
Like how does like everything work? You know, and just like like being curious and being willing to learn about new things.
I love that.
And like listening to me rant about things.
Yeah. Okay, now you know, people. If you want to ask him on a date, you gotta be curious and hear him rant. So now it's time for the Scarlet letter. You're gonna pick an envelope and open it. Answer the question.
Okay.
And you can keep it. Yeah.
I like the seal on it.
Thank you. I did it myself.
Nice. What's a holiday that doesn't exist that you'd like to create? Let's see. I would like a holiday where people just go out and like rave the entire weekend. Just like let loose, like no responsibilities except just like go out and like have a good time, you know.
Yeah.
And
I love that.
Yeah.
Like just like a party day, like raver day, or just a day where anyone just doesn't do anything but party.
Yeah. That sounds like and then the holiday following that, like the Friday would be that, and then the Monday would be like the day off, the recovery day.
Oh,
you know?
okay. So a 4-day weekend.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's make that happen.
I know.
Thank you for being here. You're awesome. I love your energy.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and we're gonna go back to your mix, and we'll return in less than 10 minutes to finalize the interview.
Sounds good.
See you in a bit, people. I love the creepy voices in the back.
The man who won't come back.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I just love it. It's just like some people might find it scary, but I'm like, yeah, like it just makes it sound more unique.
Definitely, and that's kind of what I look for in music too, is like people that try to do things differently. Like the guy who made this track, his name is IF or Interference, and he runs this radio station out of The Hague called Intergalactic FM, which is also a way I discover music. But yeah, I listen to it every day actually.
Do you have any upcoming events?
Let's see. So we have Umbrella Weekend, which is coming up March 13 through 15, I believe.
Cool.
And that's, I mean, the whole Umbrella crew, and then we have a few like local artists coming out too, like Memo Rex, and then our buddy Anakim, who's based out of LA. He's actually getting pretty big, so really excited to like just be there with the whole like family, you know.
Nice.
And then after that, I think I'm playing Nocturne in April.
All right.
I'm also opening up for DJ3 at Blonde. I don't know if it's announced yet, but
oh well, you heard it first. A Scarlet letter.
But yeah, I'm opening for him March 26th.
Super
over
cool.
there, yeah.
So what does the future hold for Andrew Wilkinson?
The future.
The
Let's
future.
see. A lot more records, a lot of money spent like buying records, but just trying. Hopefully, like coming up as a DJ more, like getting like more shows like around. Like I'm more about like quality over quantity,
Yeah.
so like more quality shows. And actually, we have West Coast Weekender coming up too. I'm going to be playing that. The lineup is like phenomenal for that. I'm really excited for that. And hopefully, like maybe I'll be starting to travel soon to DJ.
Yeah.
I'm crossing my
let's get
fingers,
go.
but
let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Good luck with that.
Thank you.
I can see you doing it though.
yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Get like a weekend trip somewhere, get to see the scene somewhere, and like go
That's
check out
always
what kind of
awesome.
music they play
Yeah.
over there, and like yeah.
Awesome. So, do you have any last shout outs or anything that you want your fans to know?
Well, I appreciate everybody tuning in and like supporting me, and my fans are like the most important thing. I have nothing without the dancers on the dance floor, and I love every single one of you guys, and thanks for supporting me.
Yeah.
Shout out to Umbrella Crew, Deep End. Shout out to my Wilkinson buddies, Andres and Bailey as well too.
Shout out. And
And
thanks to everyone that tuned in tonight and that is still watching us on the live stream. I will be uploading the show on YouTube this weekend. And I will see you all next Thursday. Thank you, Andrew. You rock.
thanks for having me.